Okay, Chef Thule weighed 340 pounds, and now he's down to 290. So he's 50 pounds down in 3 months. He's been using meal replacement shakes. He's been tracking his calories. He brought his calories down to 1,600, and he's hit a plateau with weight loss. He's been stuck at that plateau for 2 weeks. Okay, we were talking about this earlier. He qualifies for a refeed. Refeed days, exclamation mark refeed to learn more. But basically, let's do the math here for him. So his stats. Thank you for that white rice. 6'4", 290 pounds. In 3 months, right? In 3 months, he dropped 50 pounds. That's pretty fucking cool. It's a lot of weight down. That's fast. That's aggressive. Eating 1,600 calories a day. That is also very aggressive. His TD is maintenance calories. He works out 5 times a week. Okay? He's an active guy. This was aggressive, and that's fine. He's hitting a plateau. This is expected. Guess what? When you start losing your weight, losing body weight, when you hit about 10 to 20% of your body weight down, that is when things start to get hard. And he mentioned that things have been getting harder. He's been getting hungrier, and he's been plateauing. These are all signs that his body is finally starting to fight against him for the weight loss. So we can overcome that through 2 things: diet breaks and refeeds. A diet break is basically a 2 week, 3 week, 1 week, 4 weeks, something like that. 1 to 4 weeks of eating at maintenance calories, and then you resume cutting calories afterwards. The main goal of a diet break is it allows your body to kind of catch up and reset its hormones, specifically leptin. Leptin is the main hormone that we care about. It's basically the energy status hormone of our, in general, over the big picture of the last many months and years. Are we gaining more energy as in food, or are we losing energy as in food? So you've been losing energy. Leptin's going down. Leptin goes down and starts signaling things in the body, such as time to start getting hungrier, time to start driving down activity. Let's not work out so hard, and let's start increasing cortisol, which is an alertness hormone or a stress hormone, depending on what context you're looking at. And cortisol starts increasing water retention. So water retention goes up. It starts masking fat loss. He is tracking his calories. I have not dove deep enough into Chef Thule's case to confirm if he's really tracking accurately. I don't know if I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because at 1,600 calories, he is generating, I don't care if he's off even by a little bit, 3,700 calorie TDE. He's a big guy and he's active. Eating even close to 1,600, like 2,000 or 2,500, that is still going to generate a deficit of 2 pounds per week. Still, at this current deficit, he should be losing roughly 4 pounds per week, but he's not, and he's been stuck there for 2 weeks. So what does that mean? He probably needs diet breaks or refeeds. I like refeeds better than diet breaks. And so let's get into the refeed day. What is a refeed day, and why do I like it better? A refeed day is, and by the way, he's 15% down, his body weight. So 10 to 15%, let me go back up for a second. 10 to 20% of your body weight down is when you start to run into problems. So he dropped 50 pounds, 3 months. He never took any breaks, which means he didn't take a diet break. He dropped about 15% of his body weight in 3 months. Fantastic. Great. 15%, that's he's in the zone. He's in the zone where life starts getting hard. And this, by the way, is where a lot of people fuck up with crash diets. The average person doesn't understand calories in, calories out. They're just picking fad diets. They start dropping calories because it's working, because they're restricting food. And then what happens? They eventually crater when they hit this zone of 10, 20% body weight down. And then they just they start plateauing. They're starving out of their mind. They're very low energy. Their workouts suck. And they just binge. They give up. They throw in the towel because after 2 weeks of plateauing, they get so frustrated and angry, like, fuck all this. It's not gonna work. I can never lose weight. I'm cursed, right? But you're normal. You're very normal, Chef Thule. It's just from here on out, you gotta change your strategies. The strategies that we're gonna change are a couple of things. One, this deficit may not be sustainable long term, right? This deficit of 600 calories, you may be able to sustain this a little bit longer, but realistically, you might have to bring this up. Your BMR calories. what are your BMR calories? We should put this in there as well. Your BMR calories are from the website, !TDE, 2,400. You may find that your new bottom threshold, you don't have to do this now, but eventually you should consider making your daily calories 2,400 instead. Why do I say that? BMR calories tends to be the bottom threshold in which most people who are leaner find to be like, this is the bottom sustainable threshold. I can't eat below this, otherwise my energy levels just fucking falls off a cliff. So you're still at 290 pounds at 6'4". You may not need to bring up your calories to 2,400 until perhaps 250 pounds, but just keep this in mind that your 1,600 calories a day, probably not gonna be able to do this forever. You're probably gonna bring this up to 2,400 or close to that sooner or later, okay? For the time being, you're used to it, you can still sustain it. You wanna lose weight fast, I think you probably should sustain this and add in refeeds. What are refeeds? Let's talk about that. A refeed day is not a cheat day. Do not cheat on a refeed day. You plan out your refeed days. They're basically a day you eat at maintenance calories, but it's very high carb, moderate protein, very low fat. So for your refeed day, I recommend you plan this out and you track your macros and you make your macros fit into the day. So what would the refeed day look like? Let's get into some actual math. So here's how you would calculate a refeed day, okay? Your maintenance calories is your TDE, 3,700 calories, okay? Cals in one day, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get your moderate protein, okay? Moderate protein, 0.6 to 1 gram of protein per pound body weight. Based on your height and weight, I would put you in, because you're more of a beginner, I would put you at a lower end for the protein. So 0.6 grams of protein per pound body weight sounds fine to me. So let's type that in here. So 290 times 0.6 puts us at 175. Put 175. 200 grams is fine too. I think 200 grams is a nice easy number to remember, but we'll put at 175. So 175 grams of protein. 175 grams protein. Okay, fat. How much fat? For fat, you want to go as low as you possibly can for fat that day. Realistically, that's going to be kind of difficult to bring to zero. You might have to go 20 to 40 grams. No, probably realistically like 30 to 50 grams of fat. If you can go lower than this, better. Go as low as you possibly can. If you get to 10 grams for a refeed day, that's perfect. All right, now you fill in the rest of the cals with carbs. So 3,700 minus 175 times 4 calories of 4 calories per gram of protein minus the fat. Let's say you do a moderate amount, 40 grams times 9 calories per gram. So let's do the math really quick on that. So I'll just display all the math on screen. So 3,700 minus, okay, 175 times 4 is 700. 700 minus 40 times 9. 360 calories. So what's left over is, so now we do everything, 3,700 minus 700 minus 360, 2,640 calories. Cals from carbs, okay? So convert that to grams. So 2,640, that's gonna bother me. Let me just fix that. 2,640 divided by 4 equals 660 grams of carbs. That's a lot of carbs.
Holy shit.
So these are your macros for the day. Your goal for your refeed days, you plan them out in advance. You are trying to target about 3,700 calories. You're trying to aim for about 175 grams of protein. You go up or down a little bit is fine. It's not that big of a deal. The fat, try to bring it as low as you can. If you can, bring your fat down lower, bring up your protein, and this is your carbs. 660 grams of carbs. It's a fuck ton of carbs. Man, you're gonna love the refeed days. Here's what a refeed day looks like. Very, very low fat. So Think like pancakes and syrup for breakfast. And then don't eat waffles, right? Well, it depends on what the pancakes or waffles are made out of. But like cereal, like pancakes and syrup, plus some cereal and some low-fat milk. Take a protein shake, have some casein, cottage cheese, add a lot of jam. Lots of jam, and the jam and cottage cheese is so good. And jam is just like pure carbs. So cottage cheese and jam, that's your breakfast. Lunch, have some sandwiches, no mayo, no fats, right? No fat sauces. Look for like mustard. You want some potatoes? Don't get fries, right? French fries, burgers. Well, French fries in general are like a lot of oil. They're soaked in oil. Pizza, a ton of fat on there. You don't want that shit. You don't want that shit. You want potatoes? Do some roasted potatoes. Ketchup. I like ketchup and some sriracha ketchup. Delicious. Spicy potatoes. Roasted. Eat that. Man, I'm getting hungry. Have a bowl of noodles for lunch, or a noodle dish, or a rice-based dish, or a sandwich, right? All of these are examples. Lots of meat, right? You want to get the protein in there too. Smoothies, fruit juices, stuff like that. You don't want to do heavy cream type stuff. You don't want to do like fatty milk. What else? Dinner. You're going to go for, again, same thing. Don't do a ribeye steak. That's a ton of fat in there. Do like ground turkey, a ground turkey burger, something like that. Do a I don't know if you guys have other suggestions for something that's super carby, feel free to list it. But basically you're going carbs, moderate protein, almost no fat. Okay, so you want to plan out all your food and just figure out how you're gonna make everything fit. Think about your favorite carb heavy foods, but that's basically what my refeed days would look like. Beans are pretty good too. Beans are a great one too. F7 Park, great one. Beans are good if you like beans. Beans are fucking fantastic. Make sure this is not like chili. A lot of canned chili is super high in fat. But if you make your own chili, !meal prep. I have my own meal prep recipes online, and I have a chili recipe that's very low fat. In fact, I think it's fucking perfect for this because a lot of beans and ground turkey and tomato sauce. It's like no fat, lots of protein, of some carbs. Eat it with not chips because chips are usually soaked in fat. Eat it with pretzel chips. Costco sells them. They're basically little carb chips, and eat that with the chili. Oh god, so good. Anyway, so Chef Thule, this is an example refeed day. This is how you do it properly. You plan it out. You're gonna aim for roughly these macros, and here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna feel fucking glorious, man. It's gonna feel so good. We're gonna talk about why refeeds are good in just a second, but here's what you should expect to feel like. I shouldn't spoil it by telling you like, oh hey, here's how you're gonna feel, blah, blah. I'm probably biasing it and coloring it, but I don't care. I'm gonna tell you anyway. Because my refeed peeps in chat, feel free to speak up if you love refeeds and you've done this before, you've done the strategy. You've earned it, Chef Thule. You've lost a significant amount of body weight, 15% down of your body weight. You're hitting that brick wall, you're plateauing. Refeeds or diet breaks, I like refeeds better. Here's how you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel, first of all, you're gonna feel fucking full. You're gonna feel stuffed out of your mind. You're gonna feel great for once. And then the next 2 days after this, you're probably gonna feel very energized. You're gonna feel so much more energy than you normally do. And also, one last thing I wanna note, because your calorie deficit is so steep, right? Let me zoom back in. Your calorie deficit is 2,000 calories. You might wanna do 2 refeeds per week. Because your deficit is so steep. If you had a modest deficit, then maybe 1 refeed per week. Like if you're eating at like 2,500 calories or 2,700 calories, 1 refeed is probably fine. Your deficit is still stupidly high, man. It's very aggressive. Because it's so aggressive, you should probably consider 2 per week. You can try just 1 for now, but 2 would probably suit you better, and you would still lose weight fairly fast. Here's what's gonna happen, all right? So you're gonna feel really full that day. You're gonna feel better the next day or 2. On the scale, your weight will shoot up. For the first 24 hours or so, it'll come right back down. In fact, Chef Thule, what often happens with refeeds is you're doing this, right? You're plateauing right now. Nothing happening. You're stressing out. Cortisol is going up. You do a refeed, it spikes a couple pounds. You're probably gonna go up like 3 pounds. And the next day, it's gonna drop back down. And the next day, drop. it's gonna keep dropping down. And here's why. So what do refeeds do? Refeeds, okay, so we talked about leptin, the hormone leptin. Leptin is the energy status hormone that kind of tells our body if we have enough energy or not. The one macronutrient that manipulates leptin the best is carbs. Carbohydrates will impact leptin the most. That is, you consume carbs, it will bring it up. It has this most impact out of all the macros. Fat has a minor impact. Carbs, maximum impact. Now, granted, a single refeed day does not impact leptin that much. It does come back down quickly, so I should put that out there. It's not fucking magic. It feels like magic, but it does impact leptin. So it kind of tells your body for a short amount of time that, hey, we're not starving to death. We're okay. We can kind of tone back. We got all these carbs coming in. Carbs signal short-term energy status. Insulin goes up, right? Because insulin is a short-term energy status hormone. You can think of it like that. Leptin is more a long-term one, but carbs will help make a dent in the leptin a little bit. The other reasons why a refeed day is so helpful, one, the psychological benefits. It feels so good to mentally plan for this, and you look forward to it, and you have light at the end of the tunnel to know that I'm gonna go eat a lot of food this day and feel great. Okay, refeed days, psychological benefits, outstanding, and it feels good. It feels fucking good. Another psychological benefit is you don't feel like you're stopping. One of the reasons why I don't like diet breaks is because you kind of stop your momentum, and I don't like restarting. I know a lot of people are like that too. A lot of people who are just like go do refeeds, because then it doesn't feel like you're stopping your diet. It just feels like you're planning these detours in your path, and you're gonna keep going regardless. Like you're just it's like you're skiing downhill, and you're not stopping. It's just certain areas where it's gonna go flat for like a couple seconds, and you keep going back down. The slope, instead of being a super steep slope, it just kind of levels out a little bit, and you keep going. That's what it feels like. Diet breaks, it feels more like I got to the bottom of the hill, and now I have to wait for the ski lift, and I have to kind of twiddle my fucking thumbs. I lost all the momentum. That's why I personally don't like diet breaks as much. However, if you're gonna go on vacation for like 2 weeks, diet break. Just enjoy your vacation. Anyway, yeah, Chef Julie says he doesn't want to stop either. So this is why I suggest refeeds for you, like psychologically beneficial. And lastly, for performance, you're probably carb depleted, Chef. Your performance in the gym probably not great, because your body's not full on carbs. Carbs are performance enhancing. So the day or two after a refeed, your performance is just better. Like your best lifts are gonna happen the day or two after your refeed. Your energy levels will just be fucking better. Okay, so refeeds. Any questions before we wrap that up about the refeeds? Let me know if you have any questions about it. Come back, report back about refeeds. Let me know how you feel about them. Again, I want to remind everyone that refeeds are not cheat days. It's not a cheat day. People should not jump straight into refeeds. For dieting down, I recommend you just diet down, calorie deficit, however you can, until these conditions are met. You have multiple weeks of plateauing. You have an aggressive calorie deficit. You lost a significant amount of body weight with no breaks. So in his case, 15% of his body weight, 3 months straight, no breaks. He is a classic person who will benefit greatly from refeeds. To give some other examples, if someone lost that 15%, the 50 pounds over the course of a year, and he took an entire month off from dieting, and he's been plateaued for 2 months, I would say refeeds are probably not the answer for that person. They probably need to be tracking more carefully. So these are some examples of refeeds versus diet breaks versus not needing them. I've been slowly cutting, and I have not done refeeds this past cut because my calories have been just all over the fucking place. I'm not cutting very serious. I keep getting sick and injured, and different things keep happening. So I don't deserve refeeds. I really don't. I haven't earned them, and I'm not at a place where I need them. I mean, I'm not plateauing. I'm not starving out of my mind. I'm not feeling super like tired and hungry all the time. I don't feel like I hit this brick wall of exhaustion, because a lot of people, you're gonna feel that brick wall of exhaustion when you start losing a lot of weight. Again, 10 and 20% of your body weight down is where a lot of people start to run into that brick wall of like, fuck. Now, if you stagger that weight loss, the 20% body weight down over the course of 2 years, it's hard to say if your body's gonna react the same. That 10 to 20% brick wall of exhaustion I'm talking about happens to people especially when they're aggressively dieting and took 0 breaks, no diet breaks, and they just keep going and going. And then yes, they should expect to be hitting that wall of exhaustion sooner or later, okay? And then refeeds and diet breaks are the way out. That is how you shatter that plateau. All right, I hope that helps, sir. Great question. If you like the content, comment and subscribe on YouTube. Also, follow us on Twitch and leave the notifications on. Feed your brain, feed your body, and see you next time.